Previously on the Celebrity World Championship.
But I should inform you that unlike my defeated predecessor, I have no intentions of failing my purpose. So bring it on.
Count on it.
As for today's duel, we have the 44th President of the United States, Barack Obama, taking on the metal menace of humanity, Ultron.
You may have all the knowledge in the world, but you're still just a humorless toaster with anger issues. You need to learn that sometimes the most human thing you can do is just kick back and enjoy yourself.
Spare me the lecture. I have no interest in your sentimental rubbish. I'm here to win.
Time to battle. Now, Dark Cavalry, destroy his reactor dragon. Now activating my Dragon Knight's special ability. And since my knight destroyed a monster in battle, you take damage equal to that monster's attack points.
NANI?
Now wipe him out!
Got him.
Sorry to interrupt your little monologue, but in case you've forgotten, I still have a face-down Barack. I activate my trap. Barrel behind the door. Instead of negating the damage, it sends it right back at you. Stand proud. You are strong, but I am perfect.
Well, folks, Obama may have given Ultron his toughest challenge to date, but it doesn't look like anyone can stop the terrorizing Terabyte, as Ultron will be advancing to the finals to face off against Donald Trump.
He what? What the hell do you mean Obama lost?
Yes sir, it's true. Mr. Barack Obama lost to Ultron in the semi-finals of the tournament.
You better not be f***ing with me, Jupinder.
My name is Samir, sir.
Does it look like I give a shit? Now get out of my sight before I have you deported.
I already have my visa, you fat son of a bitch.
Come again?
Nothing!
Why don't you relax, Trump? You should be happy that Ultron eliminated your biggest threat.
And just what the hell is there to be happy about? The only reason I even started this tournament was to get my revenge and humiliate that bastard in front of the entire world.
Would you just calm down already? The way I see it, if Obama wasn't good enough to make it to the finals on his own, then he wasn't worth your time anyway. Don't lose sight of your objective. You want to show the entire world that you're the #1 duelist on the planet, don't you?
Of course I do! But I had set everything up perfectly for our rematch. I've spent more time studying his deck than I did running this damn country. You expect me to just throw that all away?
Not at all. Who says the main tournament is the only way you'll have a chance to duel him?
What are you babbling about?
You still have the loser's bracket, do you not? It's the perfect opportunity for Obama to redeem himself and claw his way back to the finals. And if he does, and you beat him there, wouldn't that be even better?
Holy shit, you're right. Wow. You really are a genius, aren't you, Kaiba?
I mean, I did take over a multi-billion-dollar corporation when I was still a child, after all.
You mean when you extorted your father for all his assets and manipulated your kid brother?
Exactly. Business and dueling are no different, and both require you to be ruthless, sometimes even to the ones you cherish most.
God, am I glad we found each other. Now let's get to work on that loser's tournament.
Excuse me, sir.
Didn't I tell you to get lost, Jupinder?
Yes, you certainly did. But Mr. Barack Obama would like to speak to you, sir.
Obama? What the hell does that loser want?
Perhaps he's come to grovel at your feet and beg for a second chance.
Yeah, I seriously doubt that. Still, he should be thanking his lucky stars because he is about to get a second chance. Now let him in.
Well, Darth, I gotta say, you've made some real progress here. I've noticed you haven't force-choked any of your subordinates in over a week. That's quite the accomplishment.
It's been difficult, Doctor. The temptation is strong, especially with the incompetence I deal with on a daily basis.
I get that, but remember what we talked about. When you feel the urge to lash out, what do?
Take a deep breath. And remember that I must not inflict onto others what I wouldn't inflict on myself.
Exactly. You're not just a Sith Lord, Darth. You're a leader. And leaders don't rule through fear all the time, do they?
I suppose not. But I fear the debt I owe to Darkseid has made me rather unhinged lately. You do not understand what he is capable of.
Well, he's not here right now, is he? I'm sure that if you approach him with a calm and reasonable apology, he'll forgive you.
Do you honestly believe that?
I have to, Darth. Otherwise, I might have chosen the wrong profession.
I see. Well, let's hope you're right, because I can't think of another way to get that galactic pain in the ass off my back.
Lord Vader, I have urgent news.
How dare you interrupt this important meeting, you worthless little insect!
Now, Darth, remember what we just talked about?
Fine. Speak, soldier.
Yes, sir. They're just about to announce the losers tournament. It's a second chance for a defeated duelist to win a special prize. There's a chance you might be able to clear your debt.
A special prize, you say? Interesting. It seems the gods have not forsaken me just yet. This is the opportunity I've been waiting for, Doctor.
Now hold on, Darth. Let's not forget all the work we've done here. Are you sure this is the best move for your growth? You've been making real strides and—
My growth can wait. Clearing my debt is far more important. I must act now.
Well, this was a complete waste of time.
Sorry about that, Doctor. I know you mean well, but he's a Sith Lord for a reason. He'll never change who he is. Plus, it is a lot of debt to deal with.
I just feel bad for all of you that work under someone like that. Have you ever considered starting a union?
We did a long time ago. As you can imagine, it didn't go well. And by didn't go well, I mean they're all dead.
Oh my God.
But hey, it could be worse. At least we don't work under Ellen DeGeneres.
Good point.
Good afternoon, everyone. Jenna Starlight reporting to you live once again as I'll be filling in for my cousin, Tom Lively, for this special side event before the Celebrity World Championship Finals. Joining me for commentary on these special duels once more is my good friend Dr. Phil. How are you feeling today, Doctor?
I'm going to be honest with you, Jenna, not that great. I spent the last few days trying to get through to a certain Sith Lord, and it all just went up in smoke because of this losers tournament.
I'm sorry to hear that, Doctor. Though I can't quite understand why you're even spending time with a mass-murdering comic book villain, I can respect your dedication.
I refuse to give up on him. I know that I can fix him.
Sure you can. Anyway, I hope that you all are ready because we're about to begin our special losers tournament. Here's how it'll work. Our automated randomizer will select 2 of the 14 duelists you see before you to kick off our special event and perhaps showcase something they couldn't before they were eliminated. And to incentivize the defeated duelists, the winner of each of these matches will receive a wonderful prizes provided by our sponsors. Sounds pretty exciting, doesn't it, Doctor?
Absolutely, Jenna. I'd love to get back in the ring and show off some more combos I've been working on. I am curious, though, does this mean that the winner of this tournament will have a chance to re-enter the main tournament?
I was informed by someone higher up that there were initial plans to have that happen. But Trump changed his mind this morning and decided that this tournament will have no influence over the main tournament.
Huh. That's quite the odd decision. I was certain that the only reason he was doing this was to have another chance to take down Obama.
I was as well, but the inner workings of our boss remains a mystery. Besides, we're still getting paid, so who cares?
We don't, I'll tell you that.
Damn straight. But enough talk. Let's get to it, shall we? Our randomizer will now show us the first duelist.
What the hell? That can't be a coincidence.
I mean, low as the chances might be, it's still well within the realm of possibility. Or what? Do you think your Sith Lord did something behind the scenes?
I wouldn't put it past him, Jenna, but honestly, I think he deserves a second chance to pay off his debt, and I'll be rooting for him.
That's rather sweet of you, Doctor. Now let's find out who Darth Vader shall be dueling.
Now this'll be a good match. A former Jedi turned Sith Lord up against a culinary drill sergeant from Hell. I can't even imagine how toxic this is going to get.
As someone who's been around him lately and even dueled against him, how do you think Vader will approach this match?
Well, Jenna, I've been teaching Vader the act of self-restraint, so I'm expecting him to take a more calculated approach this time. But the real question is, can he keep his cool if things start going south?
It'll be interesting to see. But what about Gordon Ramsay? He didn't get much of a chance to shine in his first match against Obama. What do you make of him?
Well, from what I've heard, he wasn't able to use the deck that suits him best in his first match, so we should expect to see a completely new strategy he's got cooking for us.
Participants are allowed to change decks for these matches, so I'd wager to say we definitely will be seeing the Hell's Kitchen chef utilize cards that are more his style.
I believe in you, Darth. You might be an arrogant, self-serving son of a bitch, but gosh darn it, I believe in you.
Touching. Now then, are both contestants ready to begin?
Let's cook this shit up.
Let us begin.
Then without further ado, it's time to duel.
Duel! Ah, yes, I remember you now. You're that easily irritable human who was defeated very early on, aren't you? Well, my apologies, but I don't have time for a cook who's already been burned.
Right, because if anyone has the right to talk about being burned, it's the guy who wears a bucket on his head to hide his face.
I hide from no one, you insect!
Darkseid would beg to differ. I hear he's been riding your ass ever since your humiliating defeat.
I won't deny that, which is precisely why victory in this little exhibition match is pivotal in my plans. Debts must be paid, and you're standing in my way of that.
Oh, I'm about to do a lot more than just stand in your way, my friend. I've taken Obama's words to heart and have acquired the necessary ingredients to perfect my cooking deck.
You won't be the first to try, and you certainly won't be the last to fail. Now enough talk. Why don't you start us off since you seem so eager to lose?
Gladly. Why don't I set the temperature by summoning Manju of the 10,000 Hands? And when he's summoned onto the field, his ability lets me retrieve a ritual spell to my hand. I think it's time I give you a taste of what's in store as I activate the ritual spell, Recette de Poisson. Now, by offering my Manju as a sacrifice, I can stir the pot and ritual summon Poultice de Nouvelle. And thanks to Poultice's special ability after being summoned, I can draw a card. I'll then set this card face down and relinquish the turn to you.
I draw. I see. You've clearly spent some time in the kitchen, but you're going to need a lot more than a few spices to make a meal of this appetizer.
Then what are you waiting for? Where is that raw power you pride yourself on? Or are you losing your nerve just like you lost your son?
He made his choice, foolish as it was, but your fate is entirely in my hands. And I never make the same mistake twice. So save your taunts for someone who actually gives a damn.
Well, excuse me.
Let me demonstrate what I mean as I summon Cosmo Goodwitch in attack position. I'll then activate the spell Emergency Teleport, allowing me to special summon Cosmo Farm Girl straight from my deck. Battle. Now, my Goodwitch, eradicate his feeble monster.
Not so fast, you half-baked twat. When Poultice de Nouvelles is targeted for an attack, I can use its special ability to tribute it, as well as one of your monsters, in order to special summon a level 4 or 5 Nouvelles ritual monster from my deck. So welcome to the field, Balamunière de Nouvelles. And since Balamunière de Nouvelles was just summoned, I'm allowed to add any Nouvelles card from my deck to my hand.
An impressive maneuver, but you'll find that my assault is far from over as I now activate Farm Girl's special ability to banish herself in order to special summon my—
Sorry, but your assault will be ending prematurely because I'm choosing to activate my trap. Chef's special recipe.
What?
You heard me the first time, you donut. Now, since I control a Nouvelles monster on the field, I can negate the effect of your monster, which means there will be no special summoning for you during this battle.
You bastard! I see you've done your homework on how my Cosmo monsters work.
I mean, it's not that complicated. I'm more so surprised at the fact that you'd still use such a flawed deck. I thought you said you never make the same mistake twice, yet here you are, making it for the 3rd time.
You talk a lot of shit for a first-round loser.
F you.
It's a good thing my deck is equipped to deal with situations like these, and I'll be activating one of them now by the name of Cosmo Town. Now, once per turn, I can retrieve a banished Cosmo monster back to my hand by paying a small cost. I'll then activate the second ability of Cosmo Town, granting me the power to shuffle a Cosmo card back into my deck in order to draw a card. Think of it as a sort of refill on a cup of coffee.
More like a cup of unprocessed Yankee Doodle shit.
And I'm sure you've had your own fair share of those, haven't you? But that's enough banter for now. It's your move.
I draw. It's just as I thought. The heart and soul of his deck lies in that field spell. As long as he has it out on the field, he'll be able to continuously recycle his banished Cosmo monsters and restock his hand. But if I can somehow make it ineffective, This game's as good as won.
What's the matter, Ramsay? Are you having trouble deciding which way you wish to fail?
How could I when I've got a walking, talking, breathing example right in front of me?
Cute, but I can already tell you're having trouble finding a way to deal with my field spell. It's quite the conundrum, isn't it?
Hardly. I hate to rain on your edgelord parade, but you aren't the only one with a powerful field spell, as I'm now activating Nouvelle's Auberge at table. And now that the table has been set, my field spell allows me to add any recipe card to my hand. Now let's give your monsters a taste of a home-cooked meal as I activate Concours de Cuisine.
What exactly are you cooking up over there?
A meal that'll put you on the chopping block, because thanks to Concours de Cuisine, I can not only special summon Pâtissier Couverture to my side of the field, I can also summon Poissonnière de Nouvelles onto your side of the field.
What nonsense is this? What could you possibly gain by granting me command of one of your monsters?
I'm merely seasoning the dish before it's ready to be served. And now, with the table set, I'm activating the ritual spell, Recette de Viande. And by tributing my Pâtissier Couverture, as well as a monster in my hand, I can now ritual summon the true piece de resistance of this deck, Balgril de Nouvelles.
Am I supposed to be intimidated by that overweight doughboy?
Fat shame him all you want. You'll find that Balgril's appetite isn't so easily satisfied, as thanks to his special ability, I can tribute one of your monsters in order to call forth America's favorite food, Hungry Burger.
So this is one of the legendary fast foods that has caused obesity to reach unprecedented levels in this country. How fascinating.
Please. That only applies to burgers cooked by minimum wage employees working behind the drive-thru of a McDonald's. The burger you see before you is of the finest quality, with only the most freshest of ingredients.
I also see now why you were so insistent on handing me one of your monsters. You managed to not only amass an army of your own, but also strip me of any defense I could muster simultaneously. Be proud. You have earned my sincerest praise.
You can take your praise and ram it right up your Disney-colored ass. Now let us battle. First off, Balgril's attacks you directly. Next will be Balamounière. And finally, Hungry Burger will attack. I'll then set this card face down and end my turn. And now, since it's the end phase, I can activate the second effect of Nouvelle's Auberge, allowing me to select 2 cards in my graveyard, and as long as one of them is a recipe card, I can place them both at the bottom of my deck in order to draw a card.
I draw. You must feel real proud to blatantly rip off one of the effects of my Cosmo Town.
It's only common sense for a restaurant to recycle their leftovers, though I suppose I shouldn't expect an emotionally distant man-child that likes to play dress-up to understand basic business practices.
Is that the same business practice that caused the failure of your Union Street Cafe?
How the f*** do you even know about that?
Oh, I've learned quite a lot during my stay on this meager planet. And among all the things I've absorbed, the most important lesson I've learned is that there is no such thing as a deficit too large to overcome.
A riveting speech, my vertically challenged friend. But I'm afraid your outdated deck has nothing left to offer in this 5-course meal.
I wouldn't be too hasty to judge the capabilities of my deck, you daft fool. But talk is cheap. So why don't I show you by activating the spell? Trade it! Now, by discarding a level 8 monster from my hand, I can draw 2 cards. It's a shame you used so many ingredients to prepare your dish because I'm about to clear your plate with the destructive might of Raigeki. Seems even the gods have decided to intervene on my behalf, as now every monster on your field shall be wiped out.
You think so? Because my face-down card says otherwise.
You wouldn't.
I activate Solemn Judgment. Now, by paying half of my life points, I can call forth the divine power of the Lord himself to negate your little storm.
To think you'd use such a risky card at this stage of the game. Do you not believe the price you paid was too steep?
Not in the slightest, because I already know that this turn will be your last.
Your confidence is impressive, but I'm far from finished yet. I now call forth Armageddon Knight in attack mode. And with his special ability, I can now send any dark monster from my deck straight to the graveyard.
I haven't the foggiest clue what he's got brewing in his pot with that move, but it's best to weed out the problem before it gets a chance to grow. I activate the effect of my Balamounière, allowing me once again to tribute one of your monsters in order to special summon another Balgril de Nouvelles. Oh, and since I forgot to mention it before, whenever Balgril de Nouvelles is summoned, he can negate the effect of all face-up cards you control for 1 turn.
Wait, but that means...
It means that if you were planning on using that field spell of yours this turn, then think again.
Well, I must admit, you've certainly surprised me, Ramsay. Surprised me with how easy it was to lure you into my trap, that is. I end my turn.
I draw. What the bloody hell is that Nucky up to? Surely he hasn't conceded the match to me already, has he? But how else could he hope to mount a comeback with no monsters and no face downs to protect him? Something isn't smelling right here.
What's the matter, Gordon? Surely you aren't beginning to have doubts now, are you?
Do you really think your mind games will work on a guy that's been in the kitchen for over 30 years?
All those years of training, and yet so few skills to show for it. What a shame.
I'm warning you, Buckethead. You better take that back or else I swear I'm gonna—
Silence me with your actions, fool, not your words!
Very well. I'm now summoning Puppercorn in attack mode. And this little ingredient gains 1,000 extra attack points if a field spell is present on the field. Battle. Now, Puppercorn, put him down for good.
Think again. I now activate the effect of Battle Vader, allowing me to special summon it and immediately put an end to your battle phase.
All that front running, and yet you've only managed to prolong your suffering. You must be quite the masochist.
Quite. I've had to endure listening to you blabber for the entirety of this duel, haven't I?
Your clever retorts won't save you from what's coming next as I end my turn. And once more, I'll use the effect of Nouvelle's Auberge to recycle 2 cards in the graveyard in order to draw a new one.
This is it. If I'm going to claim victory against this fool and obtain my redemption, I must draw that card. Failure is not an option. For my pride, my future, and my goddamn debt to Darkseid, the Lord of the Sith will not fail again. I draw. I've enjoyed this game of ours while it lasted, Ramsay. But I'm afraid that our time together is at an end.
Has wearing that bucket on your head finally started to fry your brain? No matter what you summon, I can simply use Balgril's effect to tribute it.
And how exactly do you plan on doing that with all of your monster zones occupied?
What?
Look at your field. Now back to me. Now look back at your field. Now back to me. You didn't even realize that as you slowly accumulated power on your side of the field, you were also filling up your monster zones in the process. And without any monster zones available, your Balgril's effect is useless.
He's right. Fuck! How could I have made such a blunder? Well, even if that's true, how exactly do you plan on confronting this assortment of well-prepped dishes I've laid out before you?
Surely as a master chef, you've heard the term quality over quantity. And now that I have exactly 4 dark monsters in my graveyard, I can tribute my Battle Vader in order to call forth one of the newest additions to my army, Dark Lord Zerato.
And what does this ominous-sounding creature do?
End lives is what he does. Because thanks to Zerato's special ability, by discarding a dark monster from my hand, I can eradicate every monster you have on the field.
You may have managed to clear my dining table, but your monster doesn't have the strength to finish the job.
Well, why don't we test that theory, shall we? Now, Dark Lord Zerato, attack him directly, and I'll be boosting his strength by activating the power of—
Not so fast! I don't know what card you've got to boost your monster's power, but you aren't the only one that can negate an attack, because by banishing the bacon saver in my graveyard, I can put a stop to your assault.
Well, thank you, Ramsay, because I was hoping you would.
You what?
I now activate the quick play spell, Double or Nothing. And since my monster's attack was negated this turn, not only can it go in for a second round, but its attack points are doubled for this one battle.
Wait a moment, but that means you were bluffing me the entire time.
But of course, I am the master of deception after all.
But this was supposed to be my chance at redeeming myself.
I'm sure it was, Ramsay, but I'm afraid redemption isn't on the menu for you. Now, Dark Lord Zerato, wipe out his life points with dark prominence.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Darth Vader is the winner of our opening redeem matches. Now that was quite the intense duel, wouldn't you say so, Doctor?
It sure was, Jenna. Words can't describe how proud I am of my patient. Darth showed a level of restraint and maturity I've never seen from him before. Despite all of the trash talking, he managed to stay calm, focused, and composed. And that's not easy to do, especially when your opponent is the Michael Jordan of cussing people out.
Definitely. I was quite impressed by the confidence he displayed in bluffing Gordon Ramsay at the very end into negating his Zerado's attack, which gave him the opportunity to capitalize off of double or nothing.
It also helped that Gordon shot himself in the foot by filling up his monster zones. This is why I always stress the importance of keeping a level head in stressful situations. It can be the difference between winning and losing, as we just saw.
Agreed. Congratulations, Darth Vader. How does it feel to be our first Redeem match winner?
Like an apocalypse-sized boulder has been lifted off of my chest. It was a long, hard climb, but the victory feels sweeter than a freshly cooked batch of Death Eaters. And I owe it all to you, Doctor. It was only thanks to your counseling that prevented me from choking the life out of Ramsay during our duel.
I'm glad to hear that, Darth. I was worried that in your pursuit of clearing your debts, some of your bad habits would resurface. But it looks like all my time spent with you has paid off.
That it has. And as for you, Ramsay, you were a fierce opponent. If you had dueled the old me, I certainly would have been the one to lose our match.
I guess that means I should be honored to have been defeated by a Sith Lord. It's a title most wouldn't mind having. But don't let this victory get to your head, you donkey, because I will be back for a rematch someday.
And you can count on me being here, ready to stomp your ass back into the ground anytime.
God, you're such a lovable prick.
The feeling's mutual. Now then, I take it I can expect a suitable prize as a reward for my victory?
Of course. We've already deposited the money into your bank account. Please enjoy your winnings, and do try not to get into any more debt if you can.
No promises. But now that I'm a free man once again, what would you say to accompanying me for a celebratory dinner?
Are you asking me out on a date? I wasn't expecting that.
Well, what can I say? The Force isn't the only thing pulling me in your direction.
Oh my.
Okay, stop right there, Darth Rizzler. I'd very much appreciate you not flirting with my co-host on live TV.
And I'd appreciate it if you didn't stick your bald-headed ass where it doesn't belong.
You want to say that again, you bucket-headed neck breather?
Okay, that's enough of that. I appreciate the offer, Darth, and I'll certainly consider it.
Give it some thought, Jenna. You know where to find me.
I literally don't, though, but all right then. Well, that was something.
He may be an evil Lord of the Sith, but I'll admit, the man can definitely spit game.
Right. Anyway, that's the end of our show, folks. Stay tuned for our next Redeem match that'll see 2 more of your favorite duelists get another chance to shine. Jenna Starlight out.